What's happening, YouTube? Top Hat Guy here, and today it's gonna be a little different. I want to just tell a quick story and shout out a couple people for an amazing night last night. So, for those who were in the pit with me, first off, thank you so much for making the what was already a magical night absolutely fantastic. I've never had floor seats to a concert before, and I don't think this will ever happen again. And it was fantastic. The show, Nothing More, Daughtry, and Disturbed, all were just absolutely insane, just freaking fantastic. The Oh my gosh, the experience. I'm still processing everything, be honest with you. But let me tell the story in the proper order here. So, all all my friends, like my best friend, his dad, and his wife, and her best friend, and my other best friend, all wanted to go see Disturbed. That was the main card. That was the main reason we bought the tickets. And Jared, just such a great dude, bought all of our tickets for us so we could all go. All of them. He's amazing. Great friend. Have a friend like Jared, guys. Find a friend like Jared. But um everyone else reimbursed them back for their ticket because they're awesome as well. And I guess unaware to me and Jared, another person was coming with us, a girl that's best friends with our other best friend's wife, DJ. Um, and she ended up the best friend, DJ's best friend, ended up buying a floor ticket instead of tickets with us because I guess she just they couldn't there wasn't any around. I don't know what happened there. I really don't. But fate happened is what if you ask me, fate happened. Because we get there and she's apparently got like some type of leg injury and didn't want the whole show down at the pit. She thought maybe she could find someone sitting around us to trade seats because who wouldn't go down to the pit when they have seats way far up, way away from the pit. But it seemed like there was only couples that came. There wasn't just one singular person sent by himself, so she couldn't really figure that out. So Pat, he turns to me and he's like, "Hey, we DJ really wants to spend this concert with her best friend. Would you trade with Bishop?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, sure, of course." Sitting here like, "You kidding me? Of course I will." So I get to go down before the concert even starts. By the way, before even Nothing More comes on, I get to go down to the pit, and she gets to sit with her best friend. We trade places, and which is kind of sad for me. I want to say this real fast. It was a little sad because this whole experience for me was so spectacular because I've never went to a concert with this group of with my group of friends like this. Like I've never been to a concert with Ronnie, and I was so looking forward to spending the whole time partying with all of them during a band we all share so much love for, except for Bishop. She she bought a ticket to go to a concert with a best friend, not to enjoy the music, which is still okay, perfectly fine. I mean, that's awesome. That's beautiful. Um, but she didn't. She's not into the type of music, so like it was crazy to me that she bought the floor seat, but I ain't one to to, to argue about a good thing. Okay, so I got to go to the floor and I got right at the stage. Now, for Nothing More, I went to the left side of the stage, but I was right at the rail. I like coming out. I got to high five the lead singer and everything. Like he high fived a couple of people coming by through, but still, I was that close. It was fantastic. It was spectacular. I can't even begin to still process all of this because, like, for anybody else, anybody other than me, this would probably be like peak life for them. And we had this conversation afterwards, and I'll get to it. But for anybody else, probably peak life. And I mean, it was the 25th anniversary of the Sickness album. And that on its own is just, that album, so, so important to me as a kid, just growing up. It was the first Disturbed album. You know, it was the one that started it all, boys. Like, it was fantastic. And oh, so great to just have that opportunity that like, for anybody else, they, everybody else, they paid so much money for that. I got, y'all have to understand, the seat that I got, like, originally, I didn't have to pay for because my best friend is such a freaking bro, and he does this for all of us all the time. And I'll get to his generosity more a little bit later in the video too, because I'm telling this whole story. This is going all the way through, y'all. Even after a little bit after the show, because there is some comedy gold in here. Y'all have to hear it. So the first band comes out, Nothing More, and I have an absolute ball on the left side. And I noticed that there's, at the end of the center stage, on the right and the left side, there's these little boxes, kind of. I didn't know if there were speaker boxes or what, but the musicians, anytime they go for a hold, they will, or anytime they want to interact with the crowd at the pit, they will, lean on there, start singing, yelling, and throwing out their hands, pointing at you. And I was like, I want to be right there. I've got to be right there. Now, mind you, by the time I collected this thought, they had shifted towards the end of their set and went completely center stage rather than left stage box, like just straight middle of the stage at the very end of it, and put out these drums and let the freaking crowd hold up these drum sets while he started. It was the most spectacular thing I've ever seen, interacting with the crowd. It was awesome. And then afterwards, the lead singer, gave the drumsticks to the people he let hold the drum. And that on its own has to be such a magical night for those guys. And guys, I hope y'all had as much fun as I did. Congrats on the drumsticks. That's a freaking relic right there. That's amazing. That's a story right there, y'all. And I'm glad to just witness y'all experiencing that moment. So whoever got to keep the drumsticks last night, I know y'all had a blast, because later on I got in beside y'all. Y'all even let me up at the little motorcade to, like, as close as I could get to Dave Drakeman later on. So thank y'all for y'all's own generosity and kindness. I'm still speechless about that act. Thank y'all. So after Nothing More ended, being who I am, I had to roar up the crowd, screaming. I looked back and said, "Can I get 10,000 fists?" And I, did my 10,000 fists. And only a couple of people did it. No more than like 4, and I was a little disappointed in the crowd. I'll be honest with you. I was very disappointed in the crowd. But it's okay, because Daughtry was about to come on next. I'm not disturbed. So I was like, you know what? I'm not disturbed by this act yet. Maybe they just didn't want to disrespect Daughtry. And I wasn't trying to intend on disrespecting Daughtry either. He was fantastic. I haven't heard much of his new stuff, but holy cow, I didn't expect it to be as hard, y'all. Like, they rocked out. And you gotta remember, when I think of Daughtry, I think of, like, first album Daughtry. I don't think of the new Daughtry, and, like, such a different contrast to music. I tell you what. But he did also play some old stuff, and, Like, he even made a comment, y'all are probably, I know what y'all are thinking. Y'all are, stop playing the new shit. So then they started playing, um, either It's Not Over or Home. I can't remember which came right after that. They played both, though. They did play both. I just can't remember what order they played them in because I was having such a spectacular time. I don't, it's so hard to. But, man, Daughtry just blew my expectations for what they was gonna do, and I'm glad I didn't miss a single bit of it. I know a couple of the people in my group did. I think one went to go get some drinks or use the restroom or what and missed It's Not Over. And I think one also started falling asleep a little bit. He just not due to the music or anything, just because he stayed up all over all over the next night because he does third shift, so he hadn't slept at all like for 24 hours before the concert. So that, I mean, understandable. Um, but yeah, I was down in the pit having the time of my life, and after Daltrey finished, which I want to say before when Daltrey performed Home, he told us all to turn our flashlights on. He said lighters or flashlights, but you cannot have a lighter up in the stadium, y'all. So I mean, that was a little bit, that was a little rude. You had a lighter going on, you would have immediately got kicked out, I imagine. But everyone was smart enough to just use their cell phone light. And at this point, my phone hadn't died yet, so I was able to interact with this one. And then Disturbed came out, and for Disturbed, I got right there in the center of the stage at the end of, the stageway. And they roll him out in like the whole Hannibal Lecter looking like suit going on, with the asylum jacket, restraining. He looked like this. He had the mask on and everything. It was total Disturbed at its finest. I tell you what. And he comes out and they go through the whole album. And me thinking they're just gonna do the Sickness album. Once the last song ends, I'm just sitting there trying to collect myself, like, I don't want this to end. And then they come down and they drop down these curtains that say, "We'll be back in 20 minutes." And I'm sitting there and I'm like, we're getting 10,000 Fists. I don't know what other songs we're getting, probably Sound of Silence, but we are getting 10,000 Fists. I knew it. My best friend Pat, he told me that it was going to happen, and I was like, dude, that would be awesome, but I don't expect it. This is the 25th anniversary for the Sickness album. Why would they do any other songs? Like, would they have time? But yeah, they did. Yeah, they fucking did. Not only did they have time, they played like 30 more minutes of the whole set, and it was incredible. It was incredible. And I also have to just mention this real quick because they brought this fella up on the stage named Jason, who went to a concert Disturbs like a year prior, and his story was absolutely tragic, and it was such a beautiful moment for all that was there. Jason, man, we all loved what you said, and every word of it about suicidal awareness was so beautiful. And I think I can speak for everyone. I say we are so sorry for the loss of your son. That nobody can speak words on how tragic that is, but to do what you're doing is such a blessing. To make the awareness, like turning that situation into something as beautiful as you're turning into, to help others because of your the torment you went through on it, is just something else, man. Bless you, for sure. And then they played the light in honor of it. Was just, I think I can speak for everyone. We all got a little teary because he, David Drapeman, had us shine our flashlight up in the air um, during every time he said the light, as like just a beautiful symbolism for the whole song. And at this point, my phone had died, so I could not participate. But by God, that wasn't going to stop me from raising my top hat in the air every time, just to just try to salute, if nothing else. And and then after that song, they went into Inside the Fire. And before I tell this little part, I want to say throughout the whole night, I have been shouting out to make sure to show appreciation to the guitarist of every single band that has came on, because I'm a guitarist, guys. I have to show my love for other guitarists. Every time a solo came on, most people would be watching the lead singer over here on the center stage. Not me. I was watching that freaking guitar getting shredded, because that's who I am. Like, I show appreciation for the instruments that I show appreciation for all the band for sure, but the bassist was usually on the other side of the stage. Every now and then he would come over, especially during the Disturbed. He'd walk around, like the Disturbed bassist walked around the stage a lot, and I appreciated the hell out of that. But for the most of the other sets, the bassists were just on the other side, and I never really moved over to the right side much. I either did left or center. It was, the crowd was kind of hard to move across if you, and I'm a very respectful individual, especially out in public, so I didn't want to like urge myself in there and be rude about it. I would always be like, "Excuse me, guys, is it cool?" And they would. Most people at guys, I gotta say this real quick. Most people at a metal concert are the kindest individuals you are ever going to meet in your life. I can see this time and time again. Metalheads, y'all are awesome. We need more people like you because it is a family. It is like a community of people who know how to come together and just rock out, just enjoy each other. Because we all love the same type of music. We know we do. You can see people wearing Megadeth and Slipknot. I mean, hell, my best friend was wearing his Slipknot hoodie that he got from the concert we went to a while back. And I'm sure he got several compliments on it. Like, I mean, that's how it is at a metal concert. We appreciate each other's merchandise because we have the same memories, I'm sure several people who went to this Disturbed concert probably went to Not Fest, maybe even went to A Perfect Circle, Pussifer, and Primus. Maybe they went to all these other concerts that me and Jared's been to in the past, or me, Jared, and Patrick been to with what was that one? I'm blanking right now. I'm sorry. I'll have a whole video discussing my whole music journey and concerts later. But the root of it that I want to point out here is every single metal concert I've been to has been an absolute blessing, and the community is the reason why. Like, the concerts on their own, of course, fantastic, spectacular experience. But a concert with a bad crowd can definitely negatively affect you and make the concert not worth going to. But that has never, ever been the case at a metal concert for me. And I have to say it's because of the community. Now, with that, and with the whole love and praise for the guitarist, I have to get to the story of they played Inside the Fire, and right when the guitar solo came up, the guitarist came up at the center of the stage where I was, right there at me, and played the whole solo right there. And as a guitarist, there's never been a more profound moment in my life where I'm sitting there like, this is spiritually amazing for me. I can sit here and I'll have this memory forever. I can probably think back to this memory and learn this riff because of so, and just know I know this riff now because of this moment. And as a musician, those moments just kind of they stay with you, because like this is a guitarist who I've been listening to my whole life pretty much. Ever since I've been listening to music, I've been listening to Disturbed. And to to see the solo there and everything right in front of me was it was magical. As a guitarist, there's nothing better than going to a concert and appreciating something that other people probably don't appreciate as much. People usually just get the vibe. They don't really also connect to the music during through a like musician standpoint. But I did. And going back to most people this would be their peak. That's not the case for me. I know that's not going to be the case for me because I'm not the type of person that even claims I'll ever have a peak. Because if you do, you're just falling down afterwards. And who wants to do that? Keep on climbing, brother. Keep on climbing. Because life can always get better. But with that, though, the person beside me was like, this is probably the best moment of my life. And I was sitting there thinking, man, like this is amazing by far. But it won't be peak for me. What would be peak for me is being on that stage myself one day. And I will be on that stage myself one day. And that's how I know that this won't be the peak, but this will be the moment that helps pave my way to that. After the Disturbed show, the guitarist flicks his pick right at us, and I'll let the person beside me get it because that's gonna mean more to him than it ever will to me. Because one day I hope to just be flicking my pick to him instead. That's how I think. That's my mentality here. He can have that pick, and maybe later on he can also have a pick I throw at him when I'm on that stage someday. That was my viewpoint on it. And honestly, I'm so glad he got that pick because I'm sure, I mean, that's a huge memory for him as well. And he was great. Like they were gracious enough to let me come up there right at the bar, at the gate, whatever you want to call it. So who was I to be like, nah, man, you let me come up here, I want that pick. I'm not gonna be like that. No. Let that man have his pick. Let him have that memory for this concert forever. He's gonna use it more than I don't even use picks whenever I play guitar. So beautiful time, man. I'm glad you had a blast, dude. You were awesome. I don't even know your name. I didn't get it, but if you see this, thank you for the magical experience, brother. I cannot thank you enough for letting me see the show as close as possible. Not everybody would have gave up that position, but you did. Thank you. So, now to the fun part. We left and everyone was absolutely hammered, but old Drooby Dooby Doo here. I was the DD and I was prepared. And I don't know if y'all have ever had a large group of people drunk trying to get them all from a stadium concert all the way to the parking lot and the downtown city area, but it's like herding sheep, y'all. It was hilarious, and we probably argued for like 25 minutes in the parking lot trying to figure out where we were going to eat afterwards. And finally, I took initiative and was like, listen, we'll go to Jack in the Box for some people, and whoever doesn't eat at Jack in the Box, we'll go to Wendy's. So we get to Jack in the Box, and I have to apologize 5 times over to the window to the drive-through lady, because there were 2 separate orders and it was going to be a big order. And as you could expect, they made it more complicated than it had to be. And on top of that, when we get up to it, when it's time to pay the second part of the order, they hand me up one card, it gets declined. But I'm like, it's okay. They prepared for this. So drew up a second card. And I handed it to the girl at the window. She scans. They said that's also declined. I look back and I'm like, guys, the white mage is dead. Both cards are down. What are we gonna do? And this is where the generosity of Jared comes in once again. This man just hands me his card and says, just go ahead. I'll pay for it. Always bring a paladin to the group, guys. Always bring a paladin to the group. He will save you every time. And so he paid for everyone's dinner, and then we set off. Well, we pulled over, we ate for a little bit, and then we head down the road. And instead of stopping at Wendy's, we ended up stopping at Taco Bell. They end up transferring money to one of the cards that got rejected, so they actually was able to pay for this one. But oh my gosh, it was just so hilarious. Just I can't even put it the moment into perspective, but just try to put yourself. And I'm sure some of y'all have had this exact situation. Y'all had a full car loaded up with just drunk people trying to order food at a drive-thru. I mean, it gonna get more hilarious than that, I tell you what. But I gotta just give a shout out to Jared one more time. Bro, you're awesome. Thank you for making this experience just for everybody just so much better. You're awesome, bro. And Bishop, I don't even know you, but thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to go into the pit of one of my favorite bands of all time. This will be a memory I will never ever forget. So guys, what I want to ask y'all, drop a comment down below for two things. One, if y'all was at that concert and y'all saw the Top Hat guy, let me know. Shout me out real quick. Let me know y'all's experience at that concert if you had it. And for those who didn't go to this particular concert, because not everybody's in the Charlotte area, drop a comment down below of your favorite concert experience. I would love to hear it. That's the whole point of music, is talking about the memories y'all had. I mean, that's how most people bond at concerts, is experiences of their previous concerts that's pretty connected to the same type of music. Let's bring a community together to talk about love for music. That's a huge thing that I want to do with this channel. So please leave a like and comment down below if you like the video, and let's discuss our love for music, y'all. Thank you for joining me today. Have a great day.